Hello everyone, today our topic is how to send email on partial Paperform submission. So suppose I have a form in Paperform and I want everyone to completely fill that form. So here my objective is that whenever I'm going to receive a partial Paperform submission, then automatically I'm going to capture the detail of that form submission and I'm going to send an email to that user to inform them that they have partially submitted the form. So for sending the email, I'm going to use Gmail, and for my objective, I have to build a connection between Paperform and Gmail. So for building this connection, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing software for automation and integration. In Pabbly Connect, I need to use the concept of trigger and action. In trigger application, I'm going to use Paperform. In action application, I'm going to use Gmail. So how I'm going to build this connection? For that, let me take you to my computer screen. I hope all you can see my computer screen, and today we are going to see that how we can send email on partial Paperform submission. So I have created this form of registration form in Paperform, and it is required to fill out all the details in this particular form. Now if someone forget to fill all the details and do the partial submission, then we want to remind that user to complete the form so that we can move further, and for reminding the user, we are going to send an email by using Gmail. Now here my objective is that whenever I'm going to receive a partial form submission in Paperform, then automatically I'm going to send an email to remind that user to complete the form, and for doing this automatically I need to use Pabbly Connect. So with the help of Pabbly Connect, I'm going to build a connection between Paperform and Gmail, and now whenever I'm going to receive a partial form submission in Paperform, then automatically I'm going to send an email to that user to remind them to complete their form. So how I can build this connection and how I can access Pabbly Connect? For that I need to open a new tab and search for pabbly.com/connect, and it will take us to this landing page of Pabbly Connect. Here we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you don't have any account with Pabbly Connect, then you just have to click on this sign up for free button, and it will take only 2 minutes of your time, and you will get 100 tasks free every month. Or if you already have an account, you can just sign in and you will get to see this page. So these are all the apps that Pabbly offers, and we are going to use Pabbly Connect here. For that I need to click here on this Access Now button under Pabbly Connect, and it will direct us to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here this is the workflow section, and we can see all the workflows that we will create here, and this is the folder section. We can create new folder here, and we can save any workflow in any particular folder that we want. Now here I want to create a new workflow. For that I need to click here on this create workflow button, and this window will pop up. Here I need to name my workflow, so I'm going to name it as my objective, which is to send email on partial Paperform submission. And now I need to select the folder where I want to save my workflow, so I'm going to open this tab, and in this tab I will find all the folders that I have created in my Pabbly Connect account, and I'm going to use this particular folder of Gmail. Now I'm going to save this workflow in this particular folder, so I need to click on create, and it will take us to this most important window of our workflow. Here we have two boxes, trigger and action. So these are the two main principles on which our workflow works on, and trigger says when this happens, action says do this. So trigger is going to be the first step that will get executed in our workflow, and action will just follow that. So we have to set up our trigger first, and here my trigger application is going to be Paperform, and I'm going to select Paperform here. And now I need to give a trigger event, so I'm going to open this tab, and partial submission will be my trigger event, so I'm going to select that. And now I need to connect Paperform with Pabbly Connect, and for that I'm going to use this webhook URL, and this webhook URL is going to work as a bridge between Paperform and Pabbly Connect. Now for connecting these two accounts, I need to follow all these instructions, and first I'm going to copy this webhook URL, and now I need to take you to my account of Paperform, and here I'm going to use this particular form. So here for connecting this particular form with Pabbly Connect, what I need to do is I need to go to after submission, and in after submission I'm going to open integrations and webhooks, and now what I need to do is I need to go to webhooks, so I'm going to open that. And here in webhook, I'm going to add a new webhook. So I have to click on add webhook button. And first I'm going to paste that webhook URL that I have copied from Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to paste that here. And now I need to give a trigger on. So I'm going to give my trigger. So I'm going to open this tab and partial submission will be my trigger. So I'm going to select that. And now I need to click on create. And I have successfully added my webhook. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to Pabbly Connect. And here we can see it is waiting for webhook response. So how we are going to get this webhook response? For that we need to make a partial submission. So for creating the partial submission, what I need to do is I need to first open my form. So I'm going to take you to my form and this is my form. So here I'm going to fill the partial detail and here first I'm going to give my first name. So my first name will be test, last name will be user, email will be testuser@pabblytudes.com, and these are going to be the details that I'm going to fill in my form. So these are my partial detail, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this form and I have created a partial submission. And as I have created a partial submission, I'm going to receive a new response from Paperform. So here I have received this response, but it is expected that partial responses can take up to 30 minutes to capture the response. So if you don't receive this response, then what you need to do is you need to wait for the 30 minutes, and within next 30 minutes you are going to get your partial form submission response. So as I have received this response, so in this response I have all these details, I have all the keys and values in my form. So here in my form I have received the value of my email, that is testuser@pabblytudes.com. I have received the last name which is user, I have received the first name which is test, and these are the only details that I have received from my form submission. And in my form submission I'm missing the phone number and the city. Now here, as I have received all the detail of my partial form submission, what I need to do is I need to send an email to remind my user that they need to complete the form submission. So for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my actions tab. So I'm going to open this tab. And first I need to set up a filter. So I'm going to select filter here. And I need to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and filter values will be my action event. So I'm going to select that. And I'm going to connect filter by Pabbly with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on connect. So I'm setting up this filter only for the partial submission in which I'm going to receive my email addresses. So if I'm receiving the email address, then only I can send email automatically to that user. So I need to set up this filter, and for that what I need to do is I need to first select my label. So I'm going to open this tab. I'm going to open this response of Paperform. And in this, I'm going to use this label of data to value of my email address. So I'm going to select this. And now I need to give a filter type. So I'm going to open this tab. And is not empty will be my filter type. So I'm going to select that. And here this is going to be my filter. Now what is going to happen is that as every time I'm going to receive the new values of my partial form submission. And if that value, I'm receiving this label of data to value. And only if in that label we are going to receive a value of an email address, then only this filter will work, and if this filter works, then we can send an email to that particular user. So here I have set up my filter. Now what I need to do is I need to click on save and send test tokens button, and here we can see we have received the response. So we have the status of success and the message is condition is true. So this means that the label that we have selected as my filter is not empty, and we are receiving an email address in that particular label. So now that we are receiving an email address, now we are going to send an email to that particular user by using that particular email address. So for that, what I need to do is I need to set up my last actions tab. So I'm going to click here on this add actions tab button. And here my action application is going to be Gmail. So I'm going to select Gmail here. And now I need to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and send email will be my action event. So I'm going to select this. And I'm going to connect Gmail with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on connect. I will click on add new connection and I will connect with Gmail. And now I'm going to click on allow to give access to my account. And here my connection is successful. Now here what I need to do is I need to give the recipient email addresses to whom I want to send this particular email. So I have received my email address from my partial form submission response. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map that email address here. So for that I need to use mapping. And what mapping is a technique through which I can retrieve the data from the previous steps, and the data that is changing will get replaced with the new data in the real time. So for mapping I need to click here. I will open this response of Paperform, and in this I'm going to search for my email address. So this is the email address that I've received from my partial form submission. So I'm going to map this. So this is going to be my recipient email address. And now what I need to do is I need to give a sender name. So in the sender name, I'm going to give my company name, that will be Pabbly. And also I have to give an email subject. So my email subject will be complete your form submission. And now I need to select my email content type. So for the email content type, I'm going to open this tab and I'm going to use this method of HTML. So this is going to be my email content type. So I'm going to select that. And now I need to give my email content. So here I'm going to type my email content. And if you want to learn how you can create HTML content for your email, then you need to open this hyperlink and you will see all the instruction of how you can create your email by using HTML content. So here I'm going to type my email content and my email will be, so this is going to be my email content, and in this email I have created this particular hyperlink. So here I have the link of my form and here I have this key value pair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first clear this key value pair. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the key and the values that I have in my form. So here I'm going to map all the keys and the values that I have in my form and all the values that I'm going to receive as a partial form submission too. So for mapping, I need to open this response. So first I'm going to map the key of my first name. So this is the key of my first name. So I'm going to click here. And now I have to give a sign of equal to. And now I have to give the value. So here this is my value of my key, that is test. So this is my first name. So I'm going to map this. Similarly for the next key, what I need to do is I need to give an and sign. And now I have to map my second key. So my second key is of last name. So here this is my last name key. So I'm going to map this. I'm going to give a equal to sign and I'm going to map the value. So this is my value which is user. Similarly, I'm going to give the and sign and now I'm going to map my third key. So this is my third key which is of an email. So I'm going to map that. I'm going to give a equal to sign and I'm going to map the value. Now I'm going to give my next key, that is of a phone number. So this is the key of my phone number. I'm going to give the sign of equal to and I'm going to map the value. So here the value field of a phone number is empty. So this is going to be empty in my form too. So I'm going to map that. And similarly, I'm going to map my last key. And here I have mapped all my keys and values. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the name of my user after this hello. So I'm going to click here. I will open this response of Paperform. And in the last I have the first name which is test. So I'm going to map this. I'm going to give a space. And similarly I'm going to map the last name, that is user. So here in my email content I have mapped all the values. And now what is going to happen is that as I'm going to receive new responses from my partial form submission in Paperform, then automatically all the required details are going to get replaced here and I'm going to receive new details in real time. So automatically I'm going to send this email to the new user with the new details that I'm going to receive from my partial form submission. So as I have mapped all the required details, what I need to do is I need to scroll down and I need to click on Save and Send Test Request button. And here we can see I have received this response. So this is a positive response and this means that I have sent this email automatically to my user that has made the partial form submission. So to check this, let me take you to Gmail. And here in Gmail, I'm on this send section. So here we can see that I have sent this email to this particular user that is named as test user. So I'm going to open this email. And here this is my email which is sent to testuser@pabblytudes.com. So here I have successfully sent this email to my user. And here my email subject is complete your form submission and this is my email content which is hello test user, we have received your form submission but it is not complete yet. Please check the attached link and complete your form submission for your registration. So here I have this hyperlink. So I need to click here to open my form. And here this is my partial form and in this I have all these partial details that I have filled in my form. So I have the first name, last name and the email. So the first name is test, I have the last name which is user and the email is testuser@pabblytudes.com. So in this form I haven't filled phone number and the city. So I need to fill these details to complete my form. Now let's go back to Gmail. And here we can see that automatically I have sent this email to my user to complete their form submission. And with this particular email, I have attached the link of that partial form that my user has left so that he can use that form link to complete their form submission. So here my connection between Paperform and Gmail is working successfully. And now whenever I'm going to receive a new partial form submission from Paperform, then automatically I'm going to send an email to that user to remind them to complete their form submission. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect. And here I have successfully created this automation and connection between Paperform and Gmail to send email on partial Paperform submission. So let's summarize what we did here. So first I have set up my trigger, and my trigger application was Paperform and my trigger event was partial submission. Then I have set up my filters so that this automation will only work if I'm receiving the email address from my Paperform response. Then in the last, I have used Gmail as my action application, and my action event was send email. So this is how I have successfully created this workflow, and you can also create this workflow by following all the steps that I did in my workflow. And I'm also going to put the link of my workflow in the description so you can check it out from there, and thank you for watching this video. Not just these applications, you can automate and integrate a lot more applications like this by using Pabbly Connect. So if you want to reach out to us, then email us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, then you can write us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you have any issue with the pricing, then you can visit this link. And if you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.